Hello, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of The Fro Show, being brought to you proudly on the Full Radio Network. This is episode number 51. We are being brought to you by Raven Designs. If you want to get a pretty nice logo, log on to ravencruise.com, check out her work, and drop her a line, get an inquiry. She did the Fro Show logo, and it is great. So we're going to kick it off with a band called Does It Offend You? Yeah, and this is their track, Dawn of the Dead. Does It Offend You? Yeah! Dawn of the Dead. That's a good track. So we've got Jordan Perry back in the studio. Jordan, say yoink.
Yoink. I was not offended, but it was still a great song.
And we got producer Steve. How you doing, Steve?
I am doing well.
Say boo, 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 boo.
How? Just boo, 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 boo. Or...
There you go.
Okay.
So we are recording this on Monday, August 25th. I'll be going up on Friday, so happy Friday to you guys. I will not be here because I will be on the East Coast.
And if a prominent celebrity has died between Tuesday and Thursday night, we apologize for not talking about it. We'll get after it on the next show.
We will address you in the future, but we are thinking of you.
We'll just start live tweeting deaths.
What? That's how we live tweet? Yeah. I've got nothing else better to do.
Yeah.
So, how you guys been since the last time I saw you?
Last time I saw you was Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and then we played Diablo 3 on Saturday.
Yeah, I believe so.
So
We played yesterday too, I believe.
yes,
Maybe it was yesterday.
maybe it was yesterday. I can't remember. Everything blurs together now.
The weekend, man.
For the listening audience, they saw each other on Friday. They played Diablo on Saturday, but they did not see each other when they played Diablo. For anyone confused, like me.
But
Fro, yeah, I saw you on Saturday night, so you've been making the rounds, man. We had a good jam session.
yeah, that was fun, and got on the bass, which was nice, and had a lot of fun on that.
You're a natural on the bass.
I was hitting that bass line pretty hard.
Out of that little 8-watt amp, yeah, it was getting a little crazy.
It was great. The Ibanez was feeling my funk.
Yes.
But we also went to Jersey's, the infamous Jersey's bar and tavern.
If you haven't been there, folks, you don't have to go, but you could.
They have free popcorn, so
Oh, that's why Matthew was all over it. I've never even heard of the place. Where is it located?
it's on Iration, right next to Teakwoods.
Oh, really? Okay.
And maybe I wasn't there, but I didn't see you salt the shit out of the popcorn either. Was there something going on that night?
It was already pre-salted,
Okay.
and it was feeling good. So I just I ate it. But normally I would salt the shit out of my popcorn.
I knew something was amiss when we were doing that.
Something is not right. And Colin, who was on the show last time, his cover band, Groove Museum, was playing, so we were out there supporting him. And it was a good time.
And he can't be here tonight. He's in the middle of a jam session, and tomorrow he's got a big job interview. I don't think he's really preparing for it. I tried to, get him all set up for it at my place of work, but he seems to have the confidence like he's going to get it down. So if he doesn't get that job, let's all give him some shit about it.
He's applying at where you work?
Yeah, he's got an interview tomorrow at 2:30.
Solid.
Oh, very nice.
Wish him luck.
I definitely will.
Tweet him.
I'm going to tweet him.
Let's live tweet his interview.
Yeah, let's sit there with him.
Guys like, why?
And his resume.
Why do you have 3 guys here? They're just my posse. They live tweeted. That's all. Don't worry about it, bro.
This is my entourage.
And then when Colin leaves the room, we'll stick around and try to get some inside information for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's great. You work for a rad company, so hopefully it goes well for him.
Does it have anything to do with like yogurt, your company?
Well, I'm sure we sell, or we, have some brands that sell yogurt, and, I'm a yogurt kind of guy. I like to spend time in the bathroom, so.
Go-Gurt. You take the Go-Gurt with you, so it's like you're busting out 2 things at once.
Well, that would expedite the process, but no, I haven't thought that far ahead.
All right. Just curious. That's okay, though. So last week we were talking about movies. We all went and saw Guardians, and the next movie that we kind of touched base on was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And at the time, I hadn't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
You didn't see it, but you did.
I have.
And
Steve,
now we all have.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, now we've all seen it.
We've all seen it. I personally enjoyed it. I get very easily entertained by movies, so I walked out of there and I had a good time. I liked it. What about you guys?
Yeah, no, I like as soon as the turtles show up, like to me, I was just looking at it more of like I'm like if they're trying to really pitch this towards kids, because I really didn't know where they were trying to pitch this movie to.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm all like, I don't think kids are going to sit there for 20 minutes. Like, okay, me, I was fine because I'm like, okay, Megan Fox, I got something to look at, so it covers my grounds. If you're actually going for storyline, don't even worry about it. I'm like, you probably could have done a rewrite and fixed some of your plot holes, but you decided not to. But action-wise, and actually when the turtles get on screen, you get to see them interact with each other and stuff. I think they did a great job. Plus, when you finally get to see Splinter fight, I was like, holy crap, I've never seen this.
Yeah, Splinter was pretty rad.
I agree. With you, Steve, the storyline, not much. There wasn't any crazy plot developments or any deep storytelling, in my opinion. But the scenes where the turtles were in the movie, when they're interacting with each other, or getting some FaceTime, getting some good lines, I loved that. I thought they looked great. The CGI gave them a lot of personality. I was just kind of hoping that they could have built on the turtles a little bit more, spent a little more time with them, so the kids or the adults or whoever was watching could have got to know them a little bit on a deeper level, but still entertaining movie. Only an hour and a half, so I can always sit through those and enjoy them and watch it again.
Yeah, I was very surprised with that. I was like, it was a really short movie, so that worked out.
And after seeing the movie, I was actually comfortable with the way that they portrayed the turtles. When I was seeing the previews at first, I was like, man, they look huge. Like, they have tiny little heads and their shells are humongous. But once you're actually there seeing it and seeing how they interact with each other and their movements, I thought they did a good job with the animation for it. And the voice acting was good. Johnny Knoxville coming in at the last minute to do Leonardo. I thought he did a good job. I couldn't recognize any of the other characters, though.
I couldn't either. But Raph had a cool voice.
Yeah, Raph was cool.
Yeah, the guy who played Raph apparently actually did a few episodes of Smallville. He played Aquaman on there. I've never seen Smallville, so my brother just mentioned it. But he's done some... I think he was also Colossus in
X-Men?
In the X-Men movie. So he had more dialogue in this movie. That's what Kyle told me. Than he did in the X-Men movie.
The entire trilogy, yeah.
The only thing I was really weird...
I can help you.
Yeah.
Where's my paycheck?
That would have been funny if he had this huge speech, and then Fox was just like, nah, just one line, we're good. He sees the movie, he's like, yeah, I got this great speech, and I have
you should see the
it's
scene.
so good that I'm in. And then he's like, really? That's what you guys did to me? But yeah, it was weird though, because everybody who did all their motion capture and played them on screen did their voices. So I was just like, so how bad was the guy who played Leonardo that they brought in Johnny Knoxville?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
That's a good question. But yeah, I thought Johnny did good. I mean, his voice is so recognizable. Once you hear it, you're like, oh, yep, that's Johnny. I can't even try to impersonate him, but yeah, that's definitely Johnny Knoxville. And I thought Megan Fox did a decent job. It's been a while since we've seen her in a movie. But I heard that, well, actually, she said it when she was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, that she was really pumped about this movie, and she wanted to be at least part of the movie, if not April, really bad. So it was kind of a dream come true or whatnot. That's what she said, to play that role, because she's a big Turtles fan. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's what they all say. But
yeah,
she's sexy, so
she
can get away with it.
I kind of felt bad for Will Arnett though. Because Will Arnett, he's a very funny guy. I think he's got good chops of that, but I just think the material they gave him, he couldn't really work with.
Yeah, he had to be that kind of cheesy character that didn't get too much...
The comic relief without being too comical.
Because as soon as Michelangelo came in, you're like, all right, well, there's the comic relief.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Michelangelo totally stole the movie for me.
Yeah, even though his lines were kind of kiddie and kind of campy, I still thought they were pretty funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
He was always like, what's up, girl?
Yeah.
All in love with April, so that was pretty cool. And the Turtle van, I was stoked to see that.
Yeah.
Kind of wish it was more towards the classic van.
Like the toy that everyone had?
Yeah. But it was cool to see that. And also with the skateboard or the rocket board. I remember the old one had the big propeller on the back of it.
Yeah.
But this one had rocket power, but it's also 2014, so
yeah,
we gotta update that stuff.
And one person, as far as special effects, loved it, but as far as character, personality development, reason for being there, I thought Shredder could have been a little bit more developed. You didn't really know why he was so angry, or really know his backstory. He was just insanely powerful with all the metal attached to him. I did think his power was pretty cool, how he could shoot the metal spines and then they would retract back into him.
Yeah.
That was kind of a cool power.
The coming back part was cool. His suit in general, I wasn't really on board with, just because of classic Shredder. But then again, he just looked... He looked like a freaking Transformer, but like a dude in a Transformer costume.
Yeah,
that was just
like a comic
uber freaking metal and knives. And although the final fight scene between them was pretty cool on top of the skyscraper. But turtle. I'm going to eat turtle soup.
I'm glad he used that once because he said it all the time in the cartoon.
On the cartoon show, I was like, yeah, finally. Yeah. I really thought it would have been cool if he'd used that armor at first and then didn't do too well, and then he just went back to his normal armor and just wailed on everybody, and he's all like, "Simple is better."
Yeah, I wish they would have used a couple more of the lines. He'd always "You amphibians!" He'd be like, "We're not amphibians, we're reptiles."
Yeah.
And then they didn't use the, "I said it before and I'll say it again. I love being a turtle."
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing
Man,
will
those
match.
classic lines.
Yeah, nothing will match. I think the first one, back in time, I think for me it withstood the test of time. It was cheesy with the Jim Henson stuff, but I thought it kind of got a little dark. When they went alone, when they had like the campfire, and Splinter was talking to him in their sleep, and they started crying, and maybe I was just a kid and falling for that kind of stuff. But even when I saw it a couple of years ago, I was like, "Damn, that's pretty cool."
And like each one of them had their distinct personality, and they kind of did in this movie a little bit. Again, Wrath he's kind of the loner and likes to do things on his own. But like, especially in the first movie, like you could totally tell that he's just like really conflicted and doesn't really know who or what he wants to be as far as kicking ass and taking names over there in New York. But Raph was always my favorite.
I was kind of hoping Raphael would just look at the screen and just go, "Damn!"
I wasn't that down with his last scene either, where he's like, "I always did this because I was afraid that I wasn't good enough." For me, I thought that went like a little out of character. I don't religiously study the Turtles, but like I just thought he was just a kind of a hard-headed guy, but I didn't think that he was gonna like go into that line and start crying about how he thought he wasn't good enough. Although I did think it was cool how, and I don't know if I've seen it in that many movies, how he's getting into it, it's getting all deep, they're all about to die, and then it just like stops and they're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
That was a nice a relief right there. But
Raph, are you crying? No, I just got dust in my eyes.
It's really dusty right now. The turtle shell bra was pretty funny at the end.
Oh yeah, yeah. During the credits.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny. Then again, if you were just walking down the street and you saw these things like leaping from buildings or stuff, I'd definitely be like, "Hey, oh wait, what?"
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing conspicuous about that billboard right there. But Teenage Mutant Turtles, I say, if you don't want to see it in theaters, definitely, or at least go for like a matinee if there's like nothing else you want to see. Definitely get it on Redbox or wait until it comes out on Netflix.
Yeah. Definitely, gotta see it.
But it was a good time, and I just like movies.
But it did beat out box office next 2 weekends. I guess Expendables didn't do too well, so it beat that out. So that actually made all of its money back, and now they're like, "Yeah, we got 2 more movies now in the work."
For Turtles?
Yeah, for Turtles.
Oh. Huh. Well, then I think they got a good foundation. Hopefully they'll do a little more of what I wanted, explore the characters and their team relationship a little bit more.
Just give us Bebop and Rocksteady.
I know, there's so many characters. Casey Jones.
We need a good, solid Bebop and Rocksteady, though. Mm-hmm. Like, give them that treatment, that cool CGI like they did the Turtles.
Yeah, they finally need to be in a movie.
Give them a bunch of give them a bunch of laser guns. They'll shoot and miss the turtles every time, just like in the old cartoon.
Yeah. And then bringing in Krang.
That would be nice.
Dimension
Maybe like
X.
for the third one, yeah. Dimension X.
They should get the original voice actor for Krang too. That.
Yeah. The Technodrome, right?
Yeah, the Technodrome.
Yeah.
With his whole rock army.
Yeah.
Who was
that big dude?
Yeah. What was that guy's name that Krang would like chill in his belt?
I don't know what his name was, but he was the main villain in the second video game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, he did. I don't know if he had a name. He was just like Krang's like new body or something like that.
Yeah,
because like all he had was like that little weird one, like in the very beginning. It's like, "You promised me a body."
Yeah, that's right.
He's like
with the little pinchers.
Yeah. He was so creepy.
That was even in the original Super NES game or the arcade game when you go. I think the Technodrome's in it because you go and fight
Turtles 2, the arcade game. Yeah,
yeah, you go and fight Shredder in there, and Shredder would do like the phase thing where like he'd transform into 2 different ones, and you had to fight which one was the real one.
Yeah.
And if you knock the helmet off of one, then you're like, "That's the fake one."
Yeah. Oh man,
damn it!
I've been beating him up the whole time. Yeah. Crap.
Thank goodness they had the cheat code for that game though, so you could like skip straight to the last level. That's the only way I could beat it.
Oh really? I downloaded it for 360, and I beat it, but the ending was very unfulfilling. So that was
well. If you download it for 360, can you save? Like, can you play it and save at a level?
Oh, I don't think so.
So you sat through and beat it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it was the original arcade. Like, it wasn't the Super Nintendo or like Nintendo version where like they added
like
all
the
other stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's
okay, like the arcade.
It's like the original
Cool.
arcade, so it's not like that long. I think it's like maybe 5-6 levels. Unlike with
I
like,
think it's 5.
unlike with the Super Nintendo one, like you would do a bunch of stuff and then there's a whole bunch of like everything else added to it.
Oh yeah.
So and then I remember that with the original arcade, like this Nintendo version one when it came out. Like it was, I forget where you'd get you get to the Technodrome, but then it wouldn't even end there. Then you like end up like in like some snow like place, and you just keep like going and going.
Yeah,
nice.
Just like all those old video games.
Huh. Yeah. All those ports, though. You know, what are you gonna do when they do those ports? Just gonna
play them.
Just play
Just
them.
gonna do it. Let's break for a song though. So, JP actually got me onto these guys just this past weekend. Iration.
Yeah.
And I have been jamming the hell out of their albums.
Right on.
Especially Time Bomb, that album.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I dig that one a lot. So I'm gonna play the title track off that album, Time Bomb, and I really like this song.
Yeah, start dancing. Grab your lady, crack a beer, do what you need to do.
All right, here you go. That track.
October 4th, Chandler Barbecue Festival, Oktoberfest, Santan, Iration, Real Big Fish, lots of beer. Be there.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah, he was telling me about that over this past weekend, and yes, I will be there. especially with Santan, man. In downtown Chandler, I just like downtown Chandler a lot. Went to the barbecue festival a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
That was a good time.
Big festival. Goldfinger played, Face to Face.
Face to Face. Did Real Big Fish play?
I don't.
Stones? It was not one other ska band, I think.
Voodoo Glow Skulls?
I don't know. Maybe.
I just remember Goldfinger and Face to Face.
Yeah.
So that's where I was before I then got a little too intoxicated. But
you got rowdy, man.
Yeah, man. I did. I like those bands, especially Face to Face. But so we were just talking about old Turtles video games. So I just figured, why don't we go retro gaming?
Why don't we? Yeah, we'll plug in the NBA Jam. We'll get it started.
He's heating up. He's on fire.
From downtown.
Gotta be the shoes.
I used to pump so many quarters into NBA Jam.
Oh man, I like the first version for SNES, so you could get all the special characters. I think it could be like George Clinton, Bill Clinton.
Yeah, you could
Al Gore.
Yeah, I remember being Bill Clinton for sure. And then you could get like the big heads.
Yeah,
yes.
And then like the On Fire All the Time.
Yeah.
Infinite Turbo.
Infinite Turbo was good. They even had like one that was kind of cheesy, but for a math nerd like me, I loved it. It was like the shot percentage calculator. Like if you took a 3, it would like tell you the percentage you had of making that shot. Like so, if you took it like from all the way at the other end of the court, it'd be like 0.5%.
Yeah. You're like, sweet.
I'm gonna find all the best spots.
Yeah, we used to go to Red Robin actually over here on Elliott, and they used to have an arcade in there, and they had NBA Jam. They had some pinball machines like Cruisin' USA.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe it was On the Run. I don't know, but
Close
yeah,
enough.
I used to pump quarters in NBA Jam. I'd always be the Charlotte Hornets because Larry Johnson was my dude.
Grandmama and Zoe. That was a good squad.
Yeah, I was a huge Hornets fan back in the day.
And a little tip, I was always the Chicago Bulls because they couldn't have Michael Jordan in the game because he already is under contract for his shitty game. Michael Jordan's trouble in the Windy City.
Mm-hmm.
We already talking smack about Shaq's game last week, so might as well do that with MJ's game. But yeah, anyway, he wasn't in the game, so they had Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant. But they gave Scottie Pippen full everything to make up for it. So if you look at the NBA Jam, like Scottie Pippen is like full in dunks, full in threes, full in defense, full in rebounds. So
yeah.
A little edge if you need it, you know.
I always enjoyed Scottie Pippen.
For you NBA Jam sharks out there.
Then you know there are some. This talk's for you. But Super Nintendo was probably when I really sunk my claws into like gaming, because I had a Nintendo growing up. My parents got it for me, and that was all cool. Super Mario and Excite Bike and all that stuff, and there's some great classic games for that. But then when Super Nintendo came up, I was old enough to like get into like the RPGs and things like that. So that's really when gaming like really appealed to me.
I remember seeing Street Fighter on the actual screen on like a TV on a console, and I was just mesmerized. I didn't realize after seeing so much regular Nintendo that like, you could do that and have graphics like that. That wasn't in an arcade, so
that's how it was.
I begged my parents for Christmas.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
My buddy up the street got it, and it was like green blood or whatnot, like it was like sweat or whatever. But you could get the code to make it red. But I remember I was like, oh, dude, those are like real people. I was blown away. I'm like, Sub-Zero was my fighter. I was like Sub-Zero, but then you had like Nova Sabot and like all those secret characters that would pop up and Reptile and stuff.
And of course the fatalities, everyone.
Fatality.
Yeah. Or then I think it was the second one where they got a little weird, like babality.
Yeah, it was like friendship. Friendship.
Animality.
Yeah, animality.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I think
bestiality.
This is when like Nightwolf, and they totally expanded their roster. And Shiva, Shiva.
She had the arm. Like
she was like the female Goro.
Yeah,
Shiva.
And Zindel, she was like the witch chick that was like Shao Kahn's wife or whatever.
Yeah, it was that the one with the hair.
Yeah, she
had the huge
grab you
hair
with the
thing.
hair.
Because then there was like the two sisters that were kind of like a Sub-Zero and Scorpio that had like fans.
Katana,
and one had
Katana and Melina. Or
yeah, I think it was
like
Katana and Melina. I think one was purple and one was like pink or something.
Yeah,
like that. One had fans and then one had size.
Yeah.
So what about this debate?
Okay.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. Where do you stand?
That's a good question. I really enjoy both of them. Street Fighter was always kind of had the one up. It was a lot faster, and I thought their characters were cooler. Like, I mean, you have Baraka and I'm sorry, that's
Blanca.
Yeah, that's
Blanca.
Thank you, Blanca. Yeah, Blanca.
And then the guy with the huge knives and the sharp teeth.
Mortal Kombat. Ryu and Ken and Guile. Guile was badass. I always liked Guile.
Sonic Boom.
What about yourself, Steve?
I definitely have always been Street Fighter, which is weird though because like I can hold my own in Street Fighter, but for some strange reason I'm like 10 times better at Darkstalkers. That's my phone going off.
Darkstalkers?
Yeah, Darkstalkers.
What's that?
It's by Capcom. It's the same thing. It's all the people like it's like Dracula and like all
it's a fighting game.
Yeah,
too?
it's a fighting game. It's
Who
is it?
I don't remember that.
I'm trying to remember. So Felicia, the cat girl.
She's in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, she's in Marvel vs. Capcom. Morgana as well. She's also in there. You have like a Dracula vampire kind of guy. They haven't made a new one, which I was kind of hoping they would, with the spike of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 coming out and how everything looked, and you were just like, yeah, I want a game like that. But I've always been into like more Capcom fighting games. I do like Mortal Kombat, but literally the last one I played was probably Mortal Kombat 3.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah. I'm definitely a Street Fighter guy all the way. Just thought it was a faster game, better gameplay. Mortal Kombat just kind of transposed characters and kind of just changed the colors around sometimes.
Yeah, they did do that.
Street Fighter have a lot of characters.
Yeah, they did. And there's a lot of I think with Street Fighter, it's like you had Street Fighter and you had Super Street Fighter 2, and all these different renditions of the game.
Yeah, it took them forever to get to 3.
Yeah, it took them 20 years.
But it was every time that it came out, they revamped kind of the gameplay of it and the controls and stuff like that, and just got better and better and better. And now the additions out there, they Street Fighter versus Marvel versus Capcom, like all these different ones. It's just the universe has gotten so big with that.
Yeah, and they keep adding new characters. Like every time, like those new editions came out, because it was like Super Street Fighter came out, then it was like Super Street Fighter Special Edition, and you could finally play as like M. Bison, I think, and a few other people. Then it was like Super Street Fighter Turbo Champion Edition. Yeah, there were so many.
What was the last one that just came out for 360 that they did games with gold with?
That was Super Ultimate Street Fighter or Ultimate Super or Ultra or something like that.
It wasn't like Street Fighter 4 or anything like that.
We had that like 7 years ago. I think Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, because they did Street Fighter 4, then they did Super Street Fighter 4, and then they did Ultimate Street Fighter 4, and then they did the same thing. Like
Super Duper Ultimate.
They haven't done that yet, but there's been like 3 versions of that Street Fighter 4 that has come out already, and then they did Marvel vs. Capcom, and then they did like Marvel vs. Capcom like Ultimate, and they added like I think 4 or 5.
Yeah, they need to make another one though, because it seems like it's been a while.
I'm sure it's probably especially with these next gen consoles. It's probably
some Guardians in there or something.
Well, we're getting the next Mortal Kombat coming up soon, so Street Fighter better step up their game.
Mortal Kombat X.
Has anyone played the DC versus Mortal Kombat?
Injustice.
Or something.
Wait, you mean DC versus Mortal Kombat or just Injustice?
So a couple years ago, there was the game Injustice: Gods Among Us came out, and that was like Mortal Kombat, but you had like Batman and Superman and Green Arrow and Green Lantern. It's basically a fighting game with the DC characters.
Yeah, it was basically
a good game.
It was a great game. It was the same engine of Mortal Kombat as well, and I think that's what they actually. I didn't think they realized how well the game like sold over, and then they decided, well, let's try to bring back Mortal Kombat with this kind of an engine. So that's when we're getting the new Mortal Kombat. But I really enjoyed that one. I've never played the DC versus Mortal Kombat because I felt like.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know a game, DC versus Mortal Kombat. I never played it either, but. That came out for 360 and
PlayStation 3.
PS3.
It just sounds
But I
weird
never
to me
played
that
it.
like Superman would like kill somebody. But then again, we just started Man of Steel
Yeah.
now, so
I think my buddy DJ got that game, and he said it was like you'd have Scorpion like fighting Superman.
Didn't seem right.
It's just like what? But then they did that with Injustice. Like Scorpion came into the Injustice universe.
That's actually one of the biggest gripes I had with Injustice. I got the season pass, and you got like 4 free characters. So you got like I think
you got Black Cat.
no,
you got Batgirl.
You got Batgirl, which I was like, okay, seemed kind of like the same thing as Batman, but I'm like, all right. Then you got General Zod, which I was like, okay, that's a cool character. Then you get who was the other one? I'm trying to remember because there's 4 characters.
Yeah.
I can't remember who the one is. And then they were like, oh, and then you get
Scorpio,
and I'm just like, he just seems very out of place. And then later, after the season pass, they released like 2 more characters, and it was like Martian Manhunter, which I'm like, I would have rather had that character than Scorpion. And then I forget who the other one was, but it was just kind of weird. Oh, and then they did the not Enchantress. What's her name? She's a magician girl in the DC comics. Crap, I can't remember her name now.
I'm not familiar.
Magician, like Joker's chick?
No, not
Not
Harley Quinn. She's like actually because like DC deals with the whole realm of magic and stuff like that. So she was one. I forget what her name is.
Xena, Warrior Princess.
I wish. I would have actually enjoyed that over Scorpion. But yeah, no, it was a fun game. It was pretty cool and stuff like that. I just remember winning a match just using Green Arrow's bows and arrow one time. I just kept doing it, and my ex-girlfriend was all like, "You're a dick."
Is that why she's your ex-girlfriend?
No.
That's another episode right there.
I always liked Aquaman though. For some reason, his controls were the easiest.
And he was also voiced by Phil Lamar. No, not Phil Lamar. What's his name? Orlando. Crap, the guy who did
Bloom?
Not Orlando Bloom.
Seventh Heaven?
No, the guy who did the 7-Up Yours commercials before Orlando.
Yeah.
Oh, the black guy?
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna use Steve Carell's line from 40-Year-Old Virgin. I am Aquaman. I was thinking of that today.
Sorry, that made me laugh. Back to Super NES though.
Super NES. Anyone play Secret of Mana?
Yes.
I did not get a chance to.
Just a great role-playing game, that's all.
No, I know. I've kept seeing it in like all the because I have a Nintendo Power. I used to have a Nintendo Power until they canceled it, but I have a whole like.
When did they cancel it?
Well, they canceled it maybe sometime last year. Like they released their last issue because they feel like everything was going to digital media and everything like that. So it was just easier to do it that way.
Yeah, they're only 4 or 5 or 6 years behind the times, but good.
I never beat Secret of Mana though. Did you?
I've beaten it like 5 times with 5 different friends just because I gotta show it to everyone.
Yeah,
it's one of my games, No,
I love like that. It's weird. I think Super Nintendo had like the best RPG run. Like them and SquareSoft at that time just had like the greatest run of RPGs.
They had a good tag team duo there.
When they did hit like PlayStation 1, they did have a couple of good games, but a lot of them were just kind of like, what? And
a lot of them like they like took too long to load, and like they just didn't have that same like just smooth feel, like quick play.
And then it just
cartridges, baby.
Yeah, and then it just kind of dropped off. Like I haven't really played. Granted, you're playing like Diablo 3 and like Elder Scrolls, but I haven't really found like a great RPG. I'm trying to remember the last time. Actually, South Park, Stick of Truth.
Yeah, South Park
was the last time I had a fun like
good.
kind of RPG.
That was a good one.
But yeah, it hasn't been anything like nostalgia with like Super Nintendo versions of the RPGs.
I always go back to Chrono Trigger.
Yes.
And I also do A Link to the Past, Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
So Chrono Trigger, that was an RPG, right?
Yes.
You didn't use like the gun for that, did you?
No.
Yeah, I heard so many good things about that game. It's like a classic. If you try to buy it now, it's like 3 times the price of the other average game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
I actually own every single copy of that game.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I have it on PlayStation. I have it on Super Nintendo now. I have it on 3DS or Game Boy DS or whatnot.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten every single port of that game.
Well, just let me know where that is, and I'm out of here.
Yeah, it's on iPhone now too.
But if you haven't played it, you should definitely play it because it's a great freaking game.
Is it Squaresoft?
Yeah, it's Squaresoft. Yep. It was like one of their. I think it came out right after Final Fantasy 3.
It's not. It came out. Is it like turn-based?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like it's a turn-based, and you have like the bar at the bottom that does your timer. But yeah, you get a choice about like 3 characters. I think there's a total of 7 characters. I think, in the game. Let's see. 3 heroes. Yeah, I think there's 7 characters. Because one character, you can choose to get him, or you could choose to kill him, depending on what it goes, but you can get him on your team.
Which was a cool thing back in the day, too. It was like, oh, what? You have a choice? It's like...
And it had so many options. So many things that you did would make the outcome of the ending of the game different. I think there's over,
that's awesome.
Maybe 100 endings, maybe, on the game.
Time travel and all. It's like, yeah.
And it's the artwork of the guy who did Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Damn. No wonder it was so popular.
Yeah, it was a good game.
It's one of the big ones. That's why, they made a sequel, Chrono Cross, for PlayStation, and it was okay. But now they've been in talks. Apparently, someone told me there's supposed to be a third one coming out for PlayStation 4, but I'm not holding my breath because that happened when PlayStation 3 came out. Literally, if someone told me there was going to be a third Chrono Trigger and it went back to the original idea of Chrono Trigger, I'd go out right now and just buy a PlayStation
you have to.
4.
Yeah.
I'd get rid of my Xbox One just to get a PlayStation 4.
Well, if it was confirmed.
Yeah, but no, I'm not going to do that now.
But
I'd rather play Diablo.
Diablo. Star Fox?
Yeah, I love Star Fox.
Great gameplay. That was one of the very first games that came out for the Super Nintendo too.
With the FX technology?
Yeah, the FX ship.
It had the FX ship. It was a hard game, but man, it was fun. It was good gameplay. The bosses were awesome.
Yeah.
The guns, the shooting, the accuracy is definitely a fun game. The team aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A little annoying when they kept bugging you all the time.
Do a barrel roll!
Which is so funny because if you play the Super Nintendo version, then go to the N64 version with the voices, it's Slippy's voice is and then Peppy has this really high pitched one. Then it's completely hey Fox, what's going on?
Slippy is I always liked Falco though. I thought Falco was a cool character, a good sidekick character.
No, he's a good sidekick character.
Can we talk a little bit about the original Mario Kart? That game has withstood many versions. It's still being played today, but it's all about the original.
We cannot.
We can't? All right.
This is an anti-Mario Kart podcast.
Anti-Mario Kart.
Just kidding, dude. We love Mario Kart.
Okay, Madden.
No, yeah, Mario Kart is and forever will be a staple.
The original, man.
Yeah.
Rainbow Road.
Did you, where you have to time it right and you can skip the track?
Uh-huh.
That was a good cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the feather, there's certain places where you could go off and
jump.
use that.
On Rainbow Road it had that really thin strip, but
I always remember just trying over and over and over again, do I do it now? No.
You almost had to when you played it on the 150 class. You almost had to do something like that to beat Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other characters were freaking jerks, like Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
It wasn't even Donkey Kong. It was Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, he was always you pissed me off so much.
Well, he was
your dad's a dickhead, and now you're a dickhead. Donkey Kong Jr.
It runs in the family.
Yeah.
I always liked Toad though. Toad was always my.
Yeah.
The worst was Mario and Luigi because when you're playing on the hard mode, they'd always just turn the star on when you were trying to pass them, so you could never pass them. Once you got by him, it was okay.
Well, I always liked Bowser's level.
Yeah.
Oh, Bowser's Castles.
Yeah.
Which one? Now this is with the original Super Nintendo one. It's they did 3 versions of this. It was the same stage. So, but not the same stage.
Same color, same stuff.
Yeah. So it'd be Bowser Castle 1, Bowser Castle 2, Bowser Castle 3. So, but yeah, no, yeah. Bowser's always had some really good stuff. Plus his music was always perfect for his levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all dark and minor keyed. And then I liked the haunted house level.
Yes, with the booze.
With the booze, yeah.
Oh yeah.
What?
That was the first time they were split screen action.
Yeah.
I remember the commercials for that where they're just all play with your friend.
They lived up to it. That was a great racing game.
The other 3 could watch.
I think you could get the multi-tap, but at that point the screen was so small you couldn't see anything on those old TVs that we were playing with back in the day.
Yeah.
I just hope with the
Mario Kart,
they should take the old school version of the battle mode from that one and Super Nintendo and put it into the new version.
Yeah.
Because the new version's a great game, perfect all over.
Mario Kart 8.
But then as soon as you get to battle mode, they just totally screwed it up.
Well, battle mode for Nintendo 64 was awesome.
Yes.
I loved Nintendo 64's battle mode.
It was perfect. Literally, if you were to release a DLC where you just get those maps and you could play originally, then you're probably best game of the year.
Star Fox 64 had a good battle mode too.
Yeah, too. Especially if you got all the medals and then you can play with them on the ground.
Yeah, with the tanks.
With the tanks and stuff.
Yeah.
Damn. That's good stuff.
It is good.
Then there's also the Star Fox 2 game that never got made.
What? Ooh.
For Super Nintendo?
Yeah, I remember seeing all the previews in like Nintendo Power showing you like all the different characters that were going to have battle mode and like all this cool stuff, and then the game just got scrapped.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not even in Japan or anything like that?
Nope, no, it never came. Basically, it got scrapped because I think it was actually way before even N64, and then they were just like, oh, we're just going to remake Star Fox for the 64, which we've been waiting. Hopefully, they said there's going to be a new one for Wii, but...
Oh, they have to do it. I mean, I'm sure that would sell some consoles for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's a beloved game right there.
But you were more a Super Nintendo kid then growing up?
Me? Yeah.
You as well?
Over the Sega Genesis, if that's where you're going.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the Bit Wars. Kids don't know anything about the Bit Wars these days.
They don't know about the Bit Wars. Well, they have their own war, but we're involved in it as well. Xbox versus Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's just like fanboydism opposed to, because like if you literally looked at like the Bit Wars when it happened, all we had to go off of was magazines, someone telling you about it, or the commercials.
Yeah,
that's it. Like you can't go in and research, you couldn't do all this stuff. I mean, it wasn't until a couple of years later when we got the internet that actually Super Nintendo beat Sega Genesis like hardware wise, like over and over again. Like, it had a better processor, it had all this kind of stuff and things like that. Plus, the whole library of games. I think what really sold Super Nintendo was basically their RPGs.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. Like Sega only really kind of stayed alive, I think, because of Sonic the Hedgehog and all their kind of like original
Sonic,
games.
like the original. Yeah, exactly.
But any other third-party games for it really didn't go so well.
And they only had 3 buttons with that weird controller.
Yeah.
That's why I hated playing fighting games on it.
Yeah, like you couldn't play Street Fighter on that, or compared to the way you play it on Super Nintendo. Didn't you have to like press start to like switch from like soft punches to hard punches or something like that?
Yeah, it was weird. Or you had to like hit 2 buttons at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, throw them when like Super Nintendo's like, well, we got 2 buttons up here and 4 buttons here, so in your face, Sega.
And then like Turbo for NBA Jam, we'd have to do like hold the C button and then like let go of it to press the other ones.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, but they eventually revamped their controller to where they had shoulder buttons and stuff. I think.
Yeah, but that wasn't until like the Dreamcast, I think. I don't know if Saturn had it.
Like, yeah, I mean they had to.
No, I thought they had like
still format everything for the 3 button because that's what most people had.
Well, they had like the right and left buttons at the top.
They did, but that was like a brand new controller you had to buy. That was like a 6-button controller. I remember Sega releasing it. Which is funny. Everyone always says Nintendo's notorious for like releasing like a bunch of junk. Like, oh, get this for your system, get this for your system. Sega was like more notorious than ever. They're like, here's this controller, but you can only use it on fighting games.
Yeah,
like that was it.
I have to have it.
And here's the Turbo 3 32FX. Put this on top of your other game, and then put the other game on top of that, and let's just stack everything towards the ceiling.
Do you know what the sad part is with that whole pile of mess that thing was, the 32X with the Sega CD? It had every single one had their own power source, so you had to have all those huge block plug into the walls and stuff.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, a great review you should watch is the Angry Video Game Nerd talks about the Sega CD and the 32X. He's like, look at this, it's like tumors hanging off of this system trying to suck the life out of what's left of the Sega Genesis.
I remember going to the store, like especially when we go to like the mall, and there'd be like Sharper Image and crap like that. They'd have like when PlayStation first came out, and then there was like the Panasonic.
Was it the Panasonic 3DO?
Yeah, 3DO.
3DO.
Jaguar. There was all these different ones.
Jaguar.
You had a Jaguar?
No, I just remember seeing them all. They lasted a year.
And like, I would go there and be like, "Oh, these aren't going to go anywhere." Like, especially PlayStation. For some reason, I thought that was like, what, CDs? Like, what the hell?
Well, they came out shortly, like after the 3DO and the Jaguar. I thought it almost seemed like they were kind of the same family after your Super Nintendo Sega.
Yeah, it was
I thought that was going to be the next war, but then PlayStation rose and the others just died.
Well, the problem was PlayStation, I think, sold their system at a reasonable price when it first came out. Like the 3DO was like $600.
Yeah, it was crazy expensive.
And like it didn't have any games. Like it didn't have any first parties or any kind of games. And the Jaguar was just like their whole thing was like it's 64-bit.
Yeah.
But no one knew how to work 64 bits.
Yeah.
in like the gaming way. So they're like, so a lot of games just look like 16-bit, 32-bit.
Yeah.
But the funny part is how PlayStation actually got developed was with Nintendo. Sony and Nintendo teamed up to actually make a CD gaming console because they were trying to compete with the Sega CD and Sega stuff, and then Sony was just like, yeah, you know what, we're just gonna take this and go.
Yeah, thanks for the technology, but we're gonna run with this.
So it's actually kind of funny with that. But I remember PlayStation coming out, and it was the same thing.
Crash Bandicoot. I remember Crash Bandicoot. I was like, what?
I mean, like that game. But...
Here I am, like this stupid little kid. Like, obviously, I don't know jack crap, but I'm just like, no, this isn't gonna go anywhere, man. Super Nintendo for life. And then,
hey, I stand by that.
And look at Sony now, and I never owned a PlayStation, so, I had a PlayStation 2.
Which, hands down, I think out of all the PlayStation consoles,
console.
Great console. That's why I was so pissed off with PlayStation 3.
PlayStation 3, I'm bitter towards it because I bought one and it broke like that same month. My PlayStation 2 still works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, PlayStation 3 was like, I think we burnt out one. Like the motor broke, we had to get another one. And then it was just like the games. It was just kept promising like all these games. And then it's just like, I think I have the entire like collection pretty much of all Sony first run PlayStation 3 games. And there's not that many. You're just kind of like, okay, thanks.
Well, I got a Dreamcast, and that was rad. That was a cool console.
How'd that do?
It had a good run. I think it was just a little before its time.
It was. Yeah, it's because I got one of those too, and what I liked about it was almost actually all the fighting games like Capcom versus Capcom versus Street Fighter and all that kind of stuff.
Soul
Calibur and all this stuff. It worked like a portal. It was like a arcade system in your household. Like that's how the games worked. It was really like, and I think it was just either too little, too late. Because I think right when it got released, then the N64 came out. PlayStation
64 was before then.
Oh, was it?
Because I had a 64.
Okay, that was it.
GameCube.
That's right. GameCube was just coming out. PlayStation 2 was just coming out, and then Xbox was coming out. And everyone really thought that, like, okay, well, Dreamcast will still beat out Xbox.
Yeah, it's Sega.
But Sega did do a smart move of just going, we're just going to make games now for all platforms. So
yeah.
But no, Dreamcast, I absolutely love it. It sucked though because Shenmue, that game for it, great game. They made the sequel for Xbox, and there's supposed to be a third one, but no one's ever gonna finish that series.
So what do you mean by it had like an arcade?
It just felt like a lot of the games. Like I remember I had a game Spawn. Surprisingly, I had an arcade game Spawn, and it was by Capcom. And it was just like, I think it was in the arcades. It was like you pick your character, and you it's a third person. You can play up to 4 people, and you just kind of go into these. It's like boss mode, so you fight a bunch of guys and stuff like that. And then like one of the bosses in the Spawn comic book would come out, so you fight like Violator and stuff like that. And you would just keep unlocking characters every time you played story mode and stuff. Awesome. But it had like a point system and all this. It just felt like a lot of the games just felt like just arcade games, which was kind of cool, just having that in your house, to be like, because I remember I bought like all the fighting games for it. I was just like, I'll put this in stuff.
Did you get Ready to Rumble?
No, that's actually I think the only fighting game I didn't get.
I had Ready to Rumble.
That was like their flagship game at first.
Yeah,
they always advertised for that.
Sonic Adventures, Soul Calibur, Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, Crazy. I had that.
Yeah, I missed that game. The Simpsons version of that was pretty cool too.
And then the sports games came out. I got NFL 2K, which blew my mind because it was like so realistic at the time. And then the 2K NBA series came out. That's where it started. And I've been hooked on 2K ever since. NBA 2K.
And actually, I think Sega was the first person with the Dreamcast version, was the one that started releasing the consoles in colors.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I think Nintendo when after that they were like, we'll go ahead and do that with our N64, because I remember they released like the normal like gray. I think it was a gray, or was it a white console? The original Dreamcast.
Dreamcast was white.
Dreamcast or Nintendo?
Dreamcast's original console, I think, was white. And then they released like a N2K one where they had all the sports games with it, but it was a black console. And then they started doing they did like a blue see-through one and stuff like that. And then I think Nintendo was all like, let's do that with ours, where they started releasing like the red, the blue, and like all the different color N64 consoles.
I remember that. And now we can get controllers with any team of our choosing on them for Madden.
Yeah.
We can buy a lot of stuff now. They're happy to sell it to us.
and people will buy it. So that's why they keep on doing it.
Mm-hmm. Actually, on a Madden note, which is funny, I don't think I've ever played a Madden game. I might have played one for like N64 or something like that. But the commercial for the new one with Kevin Hart,
Dave Franco.
Dave Franco,
pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good. I'm kind of and then when I saw the game footage, I was like, maybe I'll pick it up.
Yeah, Madden's a good franchise.
Well, it's an amazing franchise for football enthusiasts, and that like it's fucking complicated to me. I can't play it. I love football. I played Madden 94 religiously in 95, 96, 97.
Well, that's what killed
that new stuff.
Madden killed the 2K football franchise because they got the exclusive rights.
Yeah.
So I was like, boom, let's get rid of that.
See ya.
Let's break for a little song here. Then we'll come back and we can talk more video games after that. But so on Instagram, I always do the new album releases that are coming out in the week. And last week, this band from New York called Landscapes and Skylines, their album Departure came out. And the lead singer, Kevin, dropped me a line and said, thanks for the support, and wanted to know how I heard about him. And I heard him via Bandcamp. So he said I could play one of their tracks. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for you. This is Refuge, and this is Landscapes and Skylines off their album Departure. That was Landscapes and Skylines from New York, New York.
When it rains, it fucking pours.
Shout out to Kevin over there, the singer for Landscapes. So check him out. Go to landscapesandskylines.bandcamp.com. Pick up Departure and support those guys. They're cool dudes. And if they ever come through Phoenix, we'll definitely try to meet up with them and say hello. So, we're talking video games, and I know, Jordan, you've been kind of contemplating maybe picking up a next-gen console.
Huh? What? Okay.
You don't have one yet?
No, I got the SNES.
What is that the only console you have?
NES.
Okay, well, yeah, no, I actually, we were in your game room, and already I was just like, I think I actually might ask you to be, if you want to join Arcade Bros, where we just talk about video games.
If it's old, yeah. This new stuff, I don't know, man. I might not be much good to you guys.
Well, no, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, like, I have all the current stuff, but I do, like, I've been wanting to get my hands on, like, a NES again. I still have my Super Nintendo, but I want to build my library. Like, I still have a pretty good, it's a small library, but, like, I got Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 2, Super Mario RPG, Mario Kart, Mario All-Star, Super Mario World, Chrono Trigger I just acquired last year, finally, and I was like, yes. I think that might be, and Star Fox. I have Star Fox.
Oh, yeah.
But I do want to expand on that. But there's so many games. Like, I ended up just downloading a bunch of, like, mod games for, like, my just to play, like, old school games.
Yeah.
Now, an old school game that we didn't touch upon, which I think they need a remake, and I'm not talking about, like, next-gen consoles or anything. I'm like, just release it on, arcade, Xbox 360 arcade, PlayStation arcade, even, like, the Wii U, like, roundup and stuff, but Narc. Does anybody remember Narc?
I remember Narc.
I remember Narc.
One of the first games I think that should have probably had a mature rating on, but never did, where it's all like, third level, there's a bunch of clowns that throw syringes of heroin at you.
I was not down with that.
I don't remember that, but...
Yeah, I remember I got the little thing, I was playing it on the and I was just dying laughing. Just like you shoot a rocket, hit somebody, all the pieces go flying and everything. I was just like, this is a game they just need to bring back.
Narc was a good one, man. You press soft for the one bullet, and you press really hard for like the different type of shot or something like that.
Yeah, very innovative. And surprisingly, for only like a 2-button game, because it was on the original Nintendo system, it did pretty good for an arcade aspect. And it also had 2-player mode, which was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Narc is a fun game. Yeah, because I would love to get a Nintendo system. I want to get an Atari again.
It was kind of like Contra meets Double Dragon.
Yes.
Contra was like in kind of 2D, and Narc was you could kind of go up and down a little bit, if I remember correctly.
Now here's the thing: a lot of people won't realize, and we can talk about this because we're back in old school gaming. Who remembers Game Genie?
I got
he rocks Game Genie all the time.
Oh
man, it's so fun. Now that we're older, especially, I don't have time to sit down for 8 hours straight to get to the next level or beat a game, but with my Game Genie, I can beat Legend of Zelda in, a couple weeks instead of 3 months.
Did you beat it?
No, because I got on to something else. Now I'm playing Baseball Stars, but I'm halfway there. I'll get back to it. But yeah, the Game Genie is great for friends at parties or something like that. Someone isn't very good. My girlfriend beat Little Mermaid with it. So I
remember Little Mermaid.
That was a good game.
I remember that game.
I remember that was another thing. Capcom. They need to give games back to Capcom because they did that remastered DuckTales game.
Oh yeah,
phenomenal.
Really
phenomenal.
They did. Capcom was Little Mermaid,
and Capcom did that. They did
Aladdin.
They did Aladdin. They did what was the one? Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
For Nintendo or for Super Nintendo? Oh,
Nintendo.
Nintendo have that. Yeah, that game's hard.
Yeah, it's
so
hard
fast. Everything's happening so fast. But it's like you're on a crack.
But it was so weird because it had like a good dynamic because you play like 2 players.
Yeah,
and it's like
you jump on each other.
Yeah, and people could be like, I'm gonna take the top, you take the bottom,
right.
Knock out people. Like it was such a cool. Like I'm like Capcom, Disney, give Capcom games back and just
they did the Lion King game too. I remember that one.
And then they had this awesome X-Men game for Super Nintendo. It was done by Capcom. It had like the same controls as Street Fighter. The characters were all big like Street Fighter, but it wasn't like a fighting game. It was like an action 2D game. But if you did like the Ryu's like his move with like Gambit or something like that, he'd like throw 3 cards, and it was a really good game.
Was it? But so it wasn't the X-Men arcade game. It was a different.
It was. I have it like X-Men Apocalypse something like that.
Oh, is it X-Men Age of Apocalypse?
I don't know if they called it Age of Apocalypse because that was a different thing, but it had Apocalypse's name in it.
Okay.
Something.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about because I remember they did a bunch of because like then there was the hatred of was it LGN had those games like they actually redeemed themselves when they did Maximum Carnage. But like they did like Spider-Man
Carnage was a chill game.
Yeah.
I remember the game. It was cool.
Were they the ones that did that Spider-Man X-Men Arcade's Revenge?
Yeah,
that game was hard and shitty. I thought.
Yeah, they also did like what did they also do? They also did like Spider-Man meets the X-Men or something like that game. Like they just like LJN just like did not know how to make games.
Yeah.
Like they're notorious.
But Maximum Carnage was cool.
Yeah, that was
did
a
they do
really
the
game was
Punisher
cool.
game too. I don't know if they did. But that game was pretty cool.
I got excited for Maximum Carnage. I remember seeing in the ads in Nintendo Power or I don't know, like Game Informer, whatever those old ones were. And that was the first time I actually saw Carnage. I said, "Oh, this guy's cool." Because I knew Venom before him, and I always liked Venom. I thought he was a cool character, but then Carnage came out, and I was like, "Oh, his mask is like, his face is so much more brutal," and like, it was cool. It was a cool game.
Yeah,
Carnage is sick. And they, for you comic nerds out there, they just did a 4-issue series, Deadpool versus Carnage.
Yeah.
So I haven't picked it up, but that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I want to read that because I think Eric was reading it. He said it was pretty good because he's a huge Deadpool fan. So I was like, that's such a great like
He's
combination.
been getting his on his phone.
Yeah, he's been doing like the Comixology. Well, I downloaded that app and like you can get like sometimes they'll just do free comic books.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I've downloaded like a bunch of comic books. I just haven't read them. I've just been like so lazy. But then he has like we call it his tablet phone.
Yeah,
his phone is
huge.
massive. But I'm like I was like, I just need to get a tablet just so I can read comic books because I really want to check out the 1966 Batman revamp they've been doing with the comic. Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman were writing it.
Oh, really?
Like that. Yeah, they've been doing Comic-Con like theater, like where they'll like act it out or whatnot.
Uh-huh.
But it's like it's like the sequel of like Green Hornet meets Batman. They did.
Huh.
It's really good though.
I need to read that one classic iconic Batman storyline. I think it was Grant Morrison who did it. The Dark Knight. I think it was called The Dark Knight. That was like the first time they coined that phrase. It was like really dark.
Is that what the
Batman is like old? He's like in his 40s or 50s.
Oh, The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
That's Frank Miller. Yeah.
Oh, Frank Miller. Yeah.
Yeah, actually I have that if you want to borrow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have that one and then the predecessor, I think the Dark Knight Strikes Again.
Is that what they're basing the upcoming movie off of?
Yeah, the little like the armor that he's in. That's what he wears when he fights like Superman. Actually, I also have the Blu-rays, the two Part 1 and Part 2, the animated they did movie.
Oh, really?
You see, really good too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
cool,
the guy
like
who
drawing.
Yeah, and it's not that it's kind of like that artwork, but a little bit like kind of cleaned up.
Yeah, because that artwork was really like weird, like kind of like not like straight lines, like everything was kind of like mashed up.
Yeah, well, I think that's like Frank Miller's like art style.
Yeah.
Like he just has this weird way. Like it works for Sin City, like, when it's in like the black and white, and then he just puts like a little bit of color in. But yeah, no, definitely, yeah, because the guy who plays Batman in the animated version is the original guy who played RoboCop.
Oh yeah,
his voice, and he hits it like so good. So it was like, oh, this is awesome.
Guy's carved out a nice little career.
Which is also I was going to bring up now that we mentioned comics was Sin City. The second one came out. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know it got released?
Yeah, I had no idea. All of a sudden, I just saw on Facebook people were like, "We're watching Sin City," and I was like, "Wow, that really went under the radar."
Huh. Yeah, I was thinking about going to see it.
I hope it's not like the 300 sequel. Or...
Did you see that?
No, I just heard it was.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. Even though I loved 300, I thought that movie was great.
No, I love 300 and I love Sin City, but this one I heard hasn't like
doesn't live up to it.
I think I think it just was way
Sin
too.
City was such a great movie too.
I think it was just way too long because I mean the last one came out in 2005. This one's 2014, so almost a decade later.
2005?
Yeah, that's when the first one was released.
Oh,
jeez.
And then
doesn't seem that long ago.
Yeah, dude, the fact that it's like we're like, oh, we're getting it, and then they kept pushing it back, and finally it was just like, and then I didn't see any advertisements for it or anything like that. It was just kind of like I was like, oh, A Dame to Die For. Oh, that did come out. Oh,
A Dame to Die For. It just seems too cliche for Sin City.
Well, I'm glad they brought like the characters back though, like Mickey Rourke's characters back there.
Yeah, same with Bruce Willis's.
And Jessica Alba and Rosa
Parks.
Rosa Parks makes a special appearance. I can't think of her name. But then they brought in like Gordon-Levitt, which I always enjoy his movies, so I'm stoked to see him in there. But man, I can't think of her name. Starts with an R. bumps me out.
Was she in the
Is
first
she
one?
the dame to kill for?
No, that's Eva Green. But she was in the first one.
Was she one of the prostitutes?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I was like, it's like right there.
I'm thinking like, just Google it.
But the first one was great. Bruce. Yeah, you said Bruce Willis, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I loved it because they did the first part of his story, like in the very beginning, and then they went through everybody else's story, which still to this day, Mickey's Rourke storyline was just great. Like, especially when they're giving him the chair, he's just like, "Oh, you got you pussies."
Yeah, his character was badass, and even in the first one,
Lord of the Rings?
no.
Sorry, he's looking
Mr.
at
Frodo
Lord of the Rings
Baggins
poster.
there.
Oh yeah, and he plays that creepy he's the
Elijah
cannibal.
Wood's,
Yeah,
Elijah Wood's character was
Yeah,
way creepy.
yeah, he was cool. Totally put a new face on Elijah Wood,
Yeah.
for me at least.
Eric on the Socially Awkward podcast can't stand Elijah Wood.
but he will be watching the
Cracks
movies
me
now.
up. I know that when he said Rosario Dawson.
Okay, yeah.
Gosh.
Rosario.
You got there faster than I.
I'm a fan.
You're a fan of her.
Ever since I saw Rent.
Oh yeah, and then also Benicio del Toro was in it as Jackie Boy.
Oh yeah.
That was great. Yeah, actually, that was a really fun role, I think,
BDT?
for him because he was like the dead guy with his throat slit.
Yeah.
And he's just all like, he's in the back just like smoking a cigarette, talking to him. He's like, they're going to find out what you did.
Yeah.
He's just like, shut up.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good one. So I'm definitely gonna see it. I enjoyed the first one a lot, so
No, I'll definitely
kind
check.
of bummed if it's not as good, but
Yeah, no,
it's a sequel.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out because it's the sequel or whatnot. It was just, to me, it was just weird because like it just came under the radar. I was like, oh, that's all weird. Let's see. Oh, Josh Brolin's in this one too, the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Eva Green.
He certainly is. But
Oh,
yeah, so you're thinking about next gen console, or you're kind of over that?
Well, now, I'm over that because now I want to get that 6-track recorder.
There we go.
I'm back into the music phase where I should be, so no next gen until maybe the hockey season starts, and then I start wanting to play NHL.
It's coming out.
nice.
NHL 15. It's got a new mode too.
Oh yeah,
New mode.
all right, tell me, enlighten me.
They were talking about it on Podcast Unlocked today. Literally, you can go into where you go online and everybody's a single player.
So
I don't.
Oh, that would be cool.
It'd be cool, but it'd be crazy chaotic.
It'd be like everyone's following the puck like they're little kids, like when they're in first grade soccer matches. Like
Exactly.
everyone's just like going after the puck and no one's playing their position.
So I mean, if you can,
The parents, no.
The goalie's like on the other side. So like, really? Boy, sorry about that, eh?
no, turn around. I mean, if you could do it to where everybody knew what they were doing and you guys were uniformed and stuff, that'd be pretty rad. But
that would be rad. I mean, sorry to interrupt.
no, that was basically it. They were talking about it, and that's what I was exactly thinking too. I was like, man, everybody's just gonna sit there and be like, check you. I'm gonna get the puck. Oh, I got the puck. Oh, check.
No passing.
Yeah, like, hey, I'm over here.
Really funny. Everybody gets put in the penalty box. It's just everyone staring at each other across the way. Like,
It's just the goalie on goalie.
Yeah,
I mean,
this sucks.
That does open the door. I mean, not just for hockey, but you could do it for basketball. Football wouldn't be as exciting. You wouldn't want to be like the offensive lineman or something. But
2K's been doing it for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to get people all together like that, to get friends, to create a team. I mean, it would be hard to organize and like have a league where you're playing other teams at the same time and everything.
Yeah.
But that would be kind of cool, you know. It's
Yeah, it
like
would.
5 guys.
That would be actually a good idea.
Mm-hmm. So it should be interesting to see. I mean, you can go on like Twitch, and you can see people that do online leagues in NBA 2K, and some of them are pretty good. Like they take the time, they know their plays, and it's like a real good unit that works at it. But then you have other ones that are just like, give me the rock,
Shooting threes all day.
That's what I would do. I'm a total 3-point shooter in those games.
It basically just becomes like Left 4 Dead with no headsets. Everyone just runs around and does whatever they feel like.
That would be me because I hardly ever use my headset.
I know. I told Dad. I was like, just put your headset on, just so I know when you're leaving, and because I was literally in a match of like Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare,
Yeah, we were
like
playing.
half hour, and I'm like, oh, Matt's left. I didn't even know he left.
Getting your ass kicked.
I dipped out.
Matt is taking a shit.
I am away. But No, the next gen consoles they're coming. They're getting their bearings in, and they're getting better and better as the days go on. So
yeah,
it's fun, especially Diablo. Diablo is a hell of a good time.
Yeah, I'm glad they released that when they did right now, because there hasn't really been anything to play. Like
next big game coming out is Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny's coming out, and then I'm really looking for Sunset Overdrive. Like I'm so on board with that game, like so hard. And then
also hard. Also hard.
Also hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for that. But then because everything keeps getting pushed back, so
yeah, for sure.
Though I think it's weird that like Bungie is really supporting. Like, I mean, they're supporting Xbox, but it's like everything's going to PlayStation. I don't know if PlayStation signed a contract with them.
They probably did. But I mean, PlayStation sold like 10 million consoles so far.
Well, yeah, they're selling like 4 times as many right now.
Yeah,
3 times, there's 2 times, there's something. They're killing them right now.
It's nuts.
But
which is fine. Like that's cool. That's great. You know, who cares? Like both consoles are going to do great. Their generation, their life cycle is, really fresh right now. They have a lot of time to get their stuff. But it's like, okay, so you have this console. There's not really much out for it. So it's basically a glorified like Netflix box. Like, you know, like what are you doing right now to entice people to come over to your brand?
Yeah, all they're doing is doing a bunch of remasters now. They're just all like before. I wouldn't be surprised if how they do they're doing the Master Chief Collection and everything like that. I mean, Xbox is guilty of it too.
Oh yeah.
But PlayStation, it's all like, oh, The Last of Us. You know, here it is again. It's like, but I just beat this last year when it came out. Why would I go out and just buy your system to play the same exact game? They're not adding anything new to it.
Yeah.
Just high def graphics. But I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a God of War like trilogy thing like that remastered.
Which is a great series.
No, yeah. If they did that, I might be like, I'll probably play it again. But I don't know. The only problem I have with PlayStation is becoming like McDonald's right now, where they keep every week they're announcing like 10 million sold. It's all like that. McDonald's, when they had that counter, was like over 9,000 burgers sold. It's like, we get it, Sony. You're doing very well. But the only problem, I'm like, who's buying these consoles though? Because everybody I know has has an Xbox One.
Yeah.
Like I think I know one person. I think Annabelle is the only person I know that has a PlayStation 4.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I missed the whole PlayStation 3 generation, so there's a lot of games that I would want to play if I got one, especially if they have that service where you can go back and you can rent PlayStation 3 games and play it over like stream or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I mean, I'm not an Xbox fanboy. I have an Xbox One. I love it. But there's way more games out for Xbox One that makes it worthwhile to at least make an investment, because that's what you're doing. You're making an investment into this thing, to make an investment into it and get at least a little bit of your turn right now. And the stuff that they have in the pipeline coming up is very enticing to me personally, and I'm really looking forward to it. But as far as PlayStations, they have some stuff that's out there, like Bloodborne and the Order 1886 and stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, that's like late to 2015, 2016. Like, so what are you going to give us in between there? It's, I don't know.
No, it's true, because that's like the PlayStation 4, like what came out, like people were all raving. Oh yeah, the infamous Second Son, which I hate the Infamous series. Like, I hate that game with a passion. Like, I was trying to figure out why people enjoyed this game. I even asked people on Arcade Bros, going like, let me know why do you enjoy this game? And no one seemed to be able to answer that. So I'm like, okay, I wouldn't buy that game. And then what was the other game that came out that was just all like I think really I'd probably buy a PlayStation 4 for Little Big Planet 3. That's like the only series that I've enjoyed on PlayStation 3. So PlayStation 4, Little Big Planet 3 is only coming out, which is a fun game because you can at least play up to 4 players with that and create worlds and have like fun. But I don't think that's coming out until maybe sometime late next year.
Yeah. So that's the thing too. Like all these games gets announced and then they get pushed back. So
I mean, as soon as they release their Ratchet and Clank series, then I'll buy a PlayStation 4. Yeah, then I'm sold.
All right.
But the biggest problem, but Uncharted with Naughty Dog too, PlayStation keeps firing everybody from, like, Naughty Dog just keeps letting people go.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of people that have been, it's happening all over the industry, really. I mean, there's higher ups that are leaving, and I think what it is I think all these people wanted to make their own games. They've been doing these series for years, literally like a decade. And now they want to be able to do their own thing. They don't want to be tied down to something like that. I mean, me personally in my life, I'm kind of in that area right now where I've been doing this one thing for going on a decade, and I'm ready to do something else. I want a new challenge, and I want to be able to see if I can actually do something else, because what I've been doing is really all I've known. Mm-hmm. So I get it. You want to go out and you want to maybe start a smaller studio, do a startup, make your own personalized game where you have a small team of maybe not even 10 people or something like that, and you do a passion project. And I think that's where the industry is going, is all these little indie developers making these awesome games for cheap that are getting huge returns because they're unique. Like nothing else out there is like what they're doing. It's their own little baby. And then you have all these AAA blockbusters that cost millions and millions of dollars. And yeah, you're getting your huge returns out of Call of Duty and games like that, but you're also recycling the same crap year after year, maybe putting in a new type of technique in something. But I mean, you're gonna sit there and beat a dead horse if you're doing the same crap every year. So I just think these higher ups are kind of wanting to do their own thing and reinvent themselves, and they know something that we don't know.
No, that's the American way. We need more of that, not just for video games, but for all industries. So let's keep that coming. Indie ideas, free ideas are usually the best ones, the most least novel. So keep it up, young bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that is true.
Milwaukee Bucks.
Because I think a lot of the indie games that are coming out, I'm more excited for those than half of these series. But I mean, UBI Software tries to do that, though. They did. I mean, Assassin's Creed, obviously, they've been pushing that, but then they tried their new series,
Child of Light.
What?
Child of Light.
The Child of Light with the UBI soft art department, where they had the Rayman games did so well, so they're trying new stuff with that. But even like Watch Dogs, they tried something new. The only problem I have with Watch Dogs, it's like it takes a little bit to get into it. I just don't like your main character. I just think he's a dick.
Yeah, he's a crappy main character. That's for sure. I can agree with that. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
so in other words, just buy a Wii U.
In other words, go to Bookman's and get the old used stuff.
Yeah, go to Bookman's, be like, do you guys have a Sega Genesis?
Actually, we do. We have 4 of them, so please buy one.
Yeah, please buy one.
I haven't been to Bookman's in a while, but yeah, I need to hit that up.
Yeah, Bookman's has all the old games, man.
Yeah, you could find some games actually cheap, like the Chrono Trigger. You could I think last time I saw it, there was like $50.
Yeah,
that's really good,
right?
Considering how it's just the cartridge.
Secret of Mana.
Yeah,
for 40.
Oh, yeah, so, I mean, they have a lot of great... Sometimes you go in there and you'll find some really good, like, gems, like, oh my god. I love the fact when you go in there and they have just a wall of Super Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time I was in there, I was pumped by all the old Game Boy games that I used to have, reminiscing on that.
Balloon Kid.
So,
what about the Wii U? What the hell is that thing, anyway? What do you do?
Oh, it's
like an extension of the Wii?
No, it's basically...
We can show you in a minute.
Yeah, it's right behind you, actually. It's on the couch looking at you. No.
Hello, Jordan. I am the Wii U.
No, it's basically Nintendo's pretty much trying to get back to the old school gamers, because like when the Wii came out, a lot of like elderly people, children were buying it. Sure, it like sold a bunch of copies and Nintendo's best-selling system, but they really kind of fell short for everybody who grew up with Nintendo, who invested in Nintendo. So they don't have a wide selection. I mean, they've been out longer than everybody else, and they're still not getting the titles that they need out yet. But hopefully this winter, I mean, they're going to have the new Hyrule Warrior coming out, which is a Zelda game that's made by the guys who did
Dynasty Warriors.
Okay.
And they've already released a buttload of characters, so Ganondorf is going to be a playable character finally.
So Wii U, do you have to have the old Wii, or if you have the Wii U?
No, it's a brand new console.
Can you play Wii games on the Wii U?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it's backwards compatible. They got old school games, like you can even purchase like Mario games and stuff like that again if you wanted to. I'm trying to remember probably the 2 best or the 3 best games that I have is probably Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD remastered came out, which was really cool. Then we have the Mario Kart 8 that came out, and then probably Super Mario 3D World.
But Smash Brothers,
that was good.
Smash Brothers is coming out later this year.
The Super Mario Brothers Wii, or Super Mario World Wii, the one that came out where you could be 4 characters at the same time. That one was fun.
Yeah, that's the one.
And then the Punch-Out that they made, the revamp of the Punch-Out, was like almost the same exact thing as the original Punch-Out, just better graphics.
Mm-hmm. Which is a good idea. Yeah, and then, like you said, Smash Bros. Is going to be coming out, which apparently their roster might have gotten leaked.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't read the article.
I was going to check that out because I want to know who else is going to be in it.
I was like, I don't want to know yet.
Because I just hope they don't do the stupid
Spoilers.
the copy thing again. I hate when they do that. It's all like, here's Captain Falco, but it's the same thing as Ganondorf. It's like...
Yeah, none of that. Not for the new generation consoles. We're above that now.
But we'll see what happens. I mean, they got a lot of good characters coming in, like Pac-Man, and Mega Man's going to be in the next one as well. So
that's right, Mega Man. Yeah,
so that should be really cool. So I mean, they got their stuff coming. We're just waiting. Like they've been teasing us with a brand new. Like they showed the teaser to the new Legend of Zelda game. Apparently, Robin Williams might actually be the King of Hyrule. In that one, so I thought that was kind of cool because he was a huge, fan of Nintendo and games in general. But I mean, it's a cheaper version than next gen consoles right now. I think it's like $299 now, maybe even cheaper now. And they have a lot more games out than probably Xbox One and PlayStation 4 right now. So, but they do have a lot of their own, games, like Mario games and Link games and stuff like that. So it all depends. If and it's funny because as much as everyone thought the huge gamepad was going to be a big inconvenience, it's actually really light.
It's pretty comfortable.
And it's comfortable and really works well with the Zelda game. Like you put your item menus right there, so you can just tap it and pick the weapon you want for that game. So I thought that was a really great design. So I mean, if you're a Nintendo fan, I mean, it kind of brings you back. It's like, I mean, I'm still waiting for some more games to come out. I think the last one I bought was Mario Kart 8, but best Mario Kart I've played since 64, I think.
Well, let's get that Narc 2 going.
Yeah, Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. That's right. All right, guys, let's wrap this up here. Yeah, objections?
No.
All right. So, episode 51. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening to us just ramble about video games and movies and music and all those good things. So, we will be back shortly after my vacation, my much-needed vacation. So,
where are you going, Matt?
We're going to Atlanta.
The East.
I'm going to go swim with whale sharks, which I'm extremely stoked about.
Atlanta?
Yeah, at the Georgia Aquarium.
I thought you were going to,
Well, we're stopping there first. We're stopping in Atlanta, and I'm going to swim with whale sharks at the Georgia Aquarium. And then we're driving over to Myrtle Beach.
Oh, cool.
And then we will stay in Myrtle Beach. And then we fly home, and I'm not looking forward to flying.
Wait, say, what beach?
Myrtle.
Oh. Sounded like you were saying mortal at first.
Myrtle Beach. Best vacation ever. Now Myrtle.
Sandcastles.
Horseshoe crabs. So it should be cool. Much needed vacation with the lady, and it'll be fun. I'm looking for breweries or craft brew places in Atlanta and also South Carolina, Myrtle area, because I want to try their beers over there.
So you, for our fans in those areas, please email Matt.
Drop me a line.
Top suggestions.
On Instagram, I was talking to, shout out to Open Ears Music, because they're based out of Atlanta. So he gave me a couple of recommendations of actual breweries, but I kind of want more of like a Four Peaks, like a little craft brew place where we can just go and eat and try the beer. I don't really want a full blown brewery tour. Yeah. So we'll see if he can give me some, or they can give me some better recommendations. But shout out to them, and be sure to find me on Instagram at Matthew Renfro, on Twitter same thing at Matthew Renfro. Find the Fro Show on Facebook, and check out froshow.net where you can see all the artists and get information on who we played on this episode. And where can they find you guys?
To find me, go to Google, type in find something better to do.
You will pop up.
You'll find something better to do than look up me, okay? Thank you.
We'll get you on something.
Yeah, hey, I'm thinking grabbing you for Arcade Bro, so.
And then producer Steve.
You can find me on Twitters at Stephen Mooney Jr., all one word. And then on Instagram at smooneyjr. Also look for my stand-up when I go ahead and do that. I will post that on Facebook as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then, I think that's it.
Well, I thank you personally for producing and doing all this stuff for us.
Well, Matthew,
Yes,
I like producing your show because you actually show up on time.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, was that a knock on me? I was 11 minutes late.
Not you. It's a knock on my sister's show.
But so again, thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to, excuse me, been drinking Boston Lagers and I'm a little burpy. Be sure to check us out next time we come up. And for the night, I'm going to close it out with a band from Los Angeles. They're called Fidlar. And the song's called Cheap Beer because we are not drinking the cheapest beer. But in some areas, they might say this is kind of a cheap beer. But I don't think it is. Depends on what side of the country you're on. Sam Adams, this one's for you. Bye, guys.
This has been another fine production of the 4i Radio Network. For more great shows, check out www.4iradio.com.